I am back from the hospital. And it'll probably take a minute for some of y'all to know that I am doing a live stream. I tried to announce it an hour ago, but you know how YouTube goes. Robert, what's up? Nameless Aquatic Ecosystem, what's up? Welcome. Uh, we'll wait here a moment and then begin. I got some news, fish news too. They actually discovered two new sharks that they usually don't see in the Puget Sound right where so when I was in the hospital, I was only like 6 blocks from the water from Puget Sound, and they had to pass me literally for these sharks to be counted down in Olympia, which is the south end of the Salish Sea or the Puget Sound. They had to pass me and swim down that way, and so in theory, they swam past me in the hospital and were doing really good, being their little sharky selves. But they found the broad nose seven gill shark, which they've never seen in the Northwest before. And they also found the soup fin shark, which is an endangered shark. It's almost extinct, and they found, I think, three or four of those that they could confirm. And I want to say that the broad nose seven gill shark, they found like 11. And so, pretty impressive that happened down in the South Puget Sound, right in the middle of like all sorts of industry and stuff like that. All right, we got some folks rolling in now. How is everybody? Coro, what's going on? Aquarium Fantasies, Empire of Dirt Aquatics, what's going on? Average Fish Keeper, hello. Jack Barlow, hello. Angie, hello. Coy, Ben Chester, what's up, neighbor? Stan Pittman, what's up? Prodigal Aquarist, hello. Von Lurker, Animal Lover number one, hello. And Alan Carter, your average fish keeper, Book Mouse, hello. So I almost died. That's what I gotta say. This is my daily routine right here. They even gave me safety shears. So I gotta take off. If you see here, my legs all wrapped up. So every day I gotta cut off all the bandages, and then I gotta clean it and irrigate it with sterile saline, and then these are all antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, and what else is in here? Like multivitamins and stuff like that. My potassium level's been really low, and my magnesium and stuff. Um, Hello from UA. Hello, and Aquarium Fantasy. Hello. Also, Silver Creek Wildlife. 26 months being a member. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you, honestly, like from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys for hanging on. And for those of you who are members, thanks for sticking around. I know the last 2.5 weeks I haven't made anything. I haven't done anything. In fact, so I didn't even have and I'll tell you guys what happened in just a moment, but I didn't even have my phone for most of the time. The nurses would take my phone and it would be like locked behind the desk. And then when I needed it, we'd turn it on. And yeah, so 32 months as a secret supporter. Holy cow. Jeff Kane, you are the man. Uh, Thank you, man. I really do appreciate that. So, I got the first uh, I got the first round of bills, and I'm luckily, I think we hit the like max deductible, which for our insurance is really weird. There's like co-insurance and stuff, but I think it's gonna be 15 grand is like the most that I could ever feasibly have to pay, and maybe 10, because right now it's looking like I'm owing 10 grand, but the bill is like $200,000. Um, Even just going into the ICU, so they took me to the local hospital. Okay, let me tell the story. In case you guys don't know what was going on, or in case people are watching this replay. Hello, everybody, and thank you for the support. We're going to be talking about fish and not me. It doesn't matter what's going on with me that much. But I I was walking around and I'd been having swelling in my foot, and ever since I got hit by the lightning, I have numbness and what they call neuropathy in my feet on my right foot, which means I can't feel it very well. I also can't, like, I couldn't feel a lot of my leg very well, and I can't put all my weight on it or it collapses. So I've had this kind of half useful leg or half useless leg, however you want to look at it. Um, and basically, for 2 years, 2 years ago, I had surgery on my back, and they were talking about doing another surgery soon. Which, if they do that, it will be fusing three of the vertebrae together to try to get more stability out of my lower back. Because right now, a lot of nerves are pinched, which causes me a lot of lower back and leg and foot pain. But I couldn't feel that foot very well, and I went out into our carport to get a soda out of like a rack where we keep like extra canned goods and extra drinks and whatnot, water, stuff like that. And I must have stepped on a piece of glass that either the car kind of brought in, like it brings in gravel and stuff, but I actually stepped on a piece of glass, didn't really know about it, and then about 3 weeks ago, my ankle was kind of sore, and it had been kind of sore for like maybe 4 or 5 days, but nothing like crazy out of the ordinary. My feet and my ankles and my legs hurt a lot of the time, so I didn't think much about it. But finally, I looked at my foot, and I like pushed it as hard as I could because it felt like there was something hard in my foot, in my callus of my heel. And sure enough, a piece of glass about yay big, maybe like 2 centimeters or a centimeter and a half, came out of my heel. And I was like, whoa, there's been a piece of glass in my heel this whole time. And so I don't know exactly how long, but a couple days. But I pushed the piece of glass out, and there was a little bit of like gravel and just dirt in there that I washed out with hydrogen peroxide. I actually got a razor blade and made the cut a little bit bigger, washed it out, put isopropyl alcohol on it, and then iodine, and bandaged it up and thought that would be fine. Well, 4 hours later, I started getting the shivers and I started getting sweaty. And I took my temperature and it was 101. And so I thought, uh-oh, I better go to the ER. And I was going to wait till my wife got home because it was about 5:30 and she was supposed to be home about 7. And I thought, well, I'll wait an hour and a half, we'll go together. She can drive me because I wasn't feeling good. In the time from 5:30 to 7, my fever went to 105 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 44 Celsius to 45 Celsius. And I was out of it. I was, I do, Coro, I do have the shellfish issue with iodine, but only if I eat it, like internally. It doesn't bug me on my skin. So they can still use it for surgery and stuff. But yes, good point. Like I can't have contrast dye in my veins. Like that causes an anaphylactic shock for me. Anyways, so my wife gets home at about 7, and she comes in and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I mean, I barely remember this, but all I say is, "No, we need to call the ambulance." And I'm just pouring sweat. I'm leaning over this couch right here, the edge of this couch, and I had collapsed. I was sitting there at last I remember, and I had fallen back, and I was shivering, and I had a blanket, and the thermometer was on the floor, and my shoes were half on. Like I was getting ready to go to the hospital on my own, and never got quite ready. But she had to call the medics. So the medics came, and they picked me up, and they were great. The ambulance people were great, and then they drove me to the local hospital that's like maybe 4 miles from my house, 3 miles from my house, and the glass in my foot had gotten infected. Now, the piece of glass had dirt on it, and so it looked dark in my heel. Like to look through the skin in the heel, it looked like there was still something dark, maybe even black or brown, underneath the skin. And so they thought it was um, the they thought it was the flesh-eating bacteria, as in necrotizing fasciitis, the stuff that turns black, kind of gangrene, that ends up being really, really bad. And they literally, by midnight, they'd been doing all these tests and giving me IV antibiotics, and my fever was still really high. It peaked at 106.2. And they actually were getting ready to put me in an ice bath when they had IVs that were iced down so that so that all the saline and antibiotics were like really cold, like 36 degrees Fahrenheit or 1 or 2 Celsius, and that was all going into me and trying to cool me down. Plus they had cool regs on me and like ice packs and stuff. And then I was so out of it. I mean, they were trying to ask me who the president was, and I had no idea. They asked me my name, I knew that. And then they asked what I did for a living, and I was like, I don't know. I talk about fish, and they're like, he's out of it. Like, they didn't believe that. When I was like, I talk about fish on the internet, and my wife's like, no, he actually does. That's what he's making sense. Like, anyhow, that was just one kind of funny thing. And they're like, do your fish have a name? And I was like, I have a lot of fish. And that's all I remember. But apparently, I told them that all my fish were named Bob. Yeah, I don't think the president even knows who he is. You might have a point there. Yeah. Um, but they cut my leg open, 22 inches of incisions, and there's gross pictures on Facebook and other places if you want to see them. But I'm not going to share them here. Uh, but they had to cut my leg to the bone, all the way open, and maybe Koro. Maybe I'll make a t-shirt about I talk about fish on the internet. Um, but yeah, they had to cut my leg to the I don't know what that was. They had to cut my leg to the bone, and then my blood pressure, first it went really low because I was in septicemia shock. So it went fully septic. In about 4 hours, it went from being a local infection to being in my blood and me almost dying. They said if I had like not had a wife or someone to come home, that I would be dead. That the wait till morning, if someone had to find me there, or if it was like I didn't show up to work, kind of a thing, that I would be dead. Um, and yeah, Ben says, "Oh, the picture of his leg filleted and gutted like a salmon still haunts me. Feel blessed not to see it." Yeah, it's really I tried to share the most sterile pictures because there's some where it looks just like an image from like Grey's Anatomy or what's his name? Da Vinci. Like when Da Vinci would draw the human body, you could see the crosswork of muscle and then fascia, and then you could see my sciatic nerve, you could see my greater saphenous vein down my leg. The procedure is called, they kept calling it a, what was it, a something trench. It was an incision that they called, oh, an exploratory trench along the calf, and then there was another name for the calf muscle that called it an exploratory trench along that. But you could see the layer of like skin, and then fat, and then muscle, and then fascia, and then a little bit of muscle again. And literally, my whole leg was cut open from my knee to my ankle, and then they folded it all back apparently when I was unconscious in surgery, and they looked under and around to make sure that there was no uh, infection. Turns out there was no no necrotizing fasciitis whatsoever, and that was their big fear at this local hospital. And so when they didn't see it, they were like, well, it's still all red and swollen in there. And they took cultures and biopsies of my bone, my muscle, and of my fat in my leg. And so they call them punch biopsies, and they're like this, they use this coring tool, and then they have like a little piece in a little cylinder, and they culture that on auger, or I don't know, they swab it or something. And anyhow, so then they took me to the big time hospital called Harborview. And that's where that's our level 5 trauma unit for the Pacific Northwest. So Alaska, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Northern California, all of Washington, even a little bit of Utah. 7 states actually bring people to Harborview via flight. They have 2 helicopter pads, and they have incredible surgeons there. So they opened up the leg again when I got there. So this is day 2. I'm not conscious at this point. They kept me in a medicated coma, and they were trying to keep my fever down and my blood pressure up because I was in shock, and they were worried about it dropping too low and then me stroking. So they had to give me what they call pushers, and apparently that's what they call stuff that keeps your heart rate up. And so, or pressors, that's what they call them, pressors. So they had to give me all these pressors for like 3 days, and they had a hard time giving me any sort of pain meds because they said that basically my heart was beating too calmly, and my blood pressure was too low from being in septic shock. Once they finally got a handle on it, and they had me on 7 different antibiotics, my mom and my wife said, they had me on those, and basically finally it caught up with it by day 3 or 4. But my muscle had been so like wasted by it, I couldn't even sit up, I couldn't even talk. They had an IV in my neck going to it was a mainline IV. Then they had a pick IV in my chest, and I've got all these like bruises all over because they also put IVs like I was a pincushion. And then for I guess 11 days I was in acute care / ICU, and just saw horrors of what happens to people in car crashes, in shootings, in stabbings, mostly car crashes though. There were like every day there were two or three different people who came in from car crashes that were in my same 8-person ICU unit. And the nurses were great, the doctors were great while I was in there. And then they put me into my own private room. And basically, they said if you can get dressed, and they gave me pain medicine in my IV and anti-inflammatories for 8 days after all of this. Um, my leg was open, and it was because they had so many car wreck victims and gunshot victims that there were no surgeons available to close up. Um, so the wound. So it started getting dry, and they had to then clean it each day, twice a day. And there was like new skin trying to grow back over the edge of both cuts, but the cut was 2 inches across. So in the side of my leg, it looked like a Pac-Man, like a slice out of a pizza. And I could look in the side of my leg and see my bone. It was like my wife almost fainted when she saw what was going on. Two nurses, like, it's gnarly when two nurses had to excuse themselves and just never came back to change the band-aid. So yeah, I didn't have many cool. I mean, when I had my 106 fever and they were transporting me via ambulance between the two hospitals, I remember waking up and seeing the medic and him saying, "I'm sorry, buddy. I know you're cold, but we got to keep you cool." And so it was about, I think he said 58 degrees. I just remember that in my head for some reason. And so they didn't let me have a blanket or anything like that. Yeah, it used to be called blood poisoning. You're right, a book mouse. Um, and so basically, they took the blanket from me, and I'm just there, literally naked with a little blanket over my midsection. And it's 58 degrees in the ambulance, and I'm shivering, and they're still putting ice on me to try to keep my fever down. And then I'm going in and out of consciousness, and I close my eyes, and everything got really like there was like ringing in my ears, and everything all of a sudden just stopped, and it was really calm. And I thought to myself, did I die? Is that what just happened? And I hate to admit it, but I literally was like, good, that was awful. I'm so done with this. I'm so tired of ending up in the hospital. I'm so worn out. And not that there was a light or anything, but there was like this warmth all of a sudden that I could feel. And like felt like someone was calling my name, and my eyes were closed. I had no body in this like dream state, but I just remember thinking like, "Oh, I'm back home. Like, good. It's warm here. I'm gonna stay here." And then I get woken up by the ambulance driver, and he's going, "Stay with us. Come on, buddy. Stay with us." He's like, "Your heart rate is dropping real low, bud." And so then they put something in my IV, and of course, then my chest is tight, and my heart starts beating quickly. I don't know what they use, um, but maybe epinephrine, even. I don't know. But then they got to the hospital, and that's when I got settled. But that was the closest I came to death that I think I can ever remember. Um, and I wanted to just share that with you guys. But it was weird because every chunk of my like soul and body with my eyes closed were like, just go with it. Like, this will be peaceful. Like, you'll be done with all of this trouble. And then my logical brain was like, your wife is going to be at the hospital and she's going to be real mad if you die. And same with my mom, you know, thinking about my mom and dad. But um, so then there was this, you know, counter urge of like, hey, wake up, stay awake. And my brain was pretty well cooked at that point. Like when they were asking me questions, they're like, "Hey, do you know what procedure you just had done?" And I'm like, "Legotomy." Like I answered the craziest, most silly questions. But I'm so thankful that they saved my life, and I'm here. Probably the closest call I've had since the lightning. But the closest call I've had that I can like remember a feeling of like I don't know how to explain it other than like a warmth in the darkness. I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I just felt a warmth in the darkness and I felt like, oh, all my troubles could be over if I just go with the flow. And then my logical brain was like, no, you got stuff to do. You're not done with stuff. Um, And I guess that upped my blood pressure when I thought about making videos and stuff. No, just kidding. Uh, oh, wow. Steven, thank you so much, buddy. That is so kind of you. Heading into a meeting now, but good to see your face. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it. It's not like I'm gonna like lose all my money over this, but I'm gonna have a big medical bill, and I already have 15K for the T and the roof replacement. You know, this year's not been great for money, but that's okay. Like I'll just pay it off slowly forever, and I don't really care. That's like it won't affect my credit. So you know, that's what's whatever. Oh, thank you so much. Sev Sense, wishing a quick healing for you as well as a chance for rest. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. I don't expect it from any of you. You guys just being here, watching my old content is so helpful. Like, because the channel right now, honestly, views, probably because I haven't made any. So honestly, that's the biggest help is go back and watch an old video or let it play on your computer while you go do something else. um, yeah, Matt, you're right. Medical bills can be negotiated down pretty easily. See, the thing is, the medical bills, I don't even have them all yet, and it's 168,000 is what's like on my email right now. The first hospital wants 94 grand just for taking me in. The other one that kept me for 2 weeks is asking for like 60 grand. Uh, so something's like real wonky, or I'm about to get a massive bill that I just haven't seen yet. But yeah, the itemized receipt is definitely gonna happen because it is bonkers. Hey, Day, welcome. Welcome to the club. Go to the community tab now that you're a member. And if you go to the community or post tab, there'll be a playlist that says audio based or podcast type playlist. And anything that says fishery as the name of an episode, you'll now have access uh, to um, to that. So and so do all members. So thank you for the support. But anyways, I'm alive and I'm here. And hey, Koro, thanks for getting that goofy notification. I have a lot of follow-up appointments. A lot. It's kind of wild. I have to go to a rheumatologist, an endocrine, because I still have lupus and they didn't treat it real well while I was in there. So then my organs started taking a hit. And then they're like, oh crap, we better put him on the drugs he told us he was on, and like the prednisone and the methotrexate and stuff. And it's boring stuff. But in any case, here's the end of my hospital story. So they they told me that I had to do physical therapy, and that because they cut across my main calf muscle, that it would be 3 to 6 months of physical therapy. But if I could stand on my own and take off my hospital gown and put on a shirt and make it to the bedpan next to the bed, which was like a seat, like a toilet seat next to the bed, that they would let me go home whatever day I could do that. And so little did they know, I knew I had this in 2 days. I knew I had this appointment. Well, my leg has not worked well for years, my right leg. I've been dragging that leg around like dead weight, and I can stand on it like when I'm not moving, but I can't put my weight on it like going upstairs or anything. And basically, I know that physical therapy for me is $120 each visit. That's my copay. Stupid, terrible insurance. I don't know why it's that much, but it's the most a copay can be under my plan. And it's considered like a specialist and a lab or something. I don't know why, but so it costs a lot of money. And I knew that there's no way I can afford doing physical therapy. So the nurse that was like my night nurse printed out all the exercises that they were going to ask of me. And there were two I couldn't do out of 12 just in bed. And I got up at night with when they gave me like through the neck IV Dilaudid and Demerol, which are real strong pain relievers. And I'm not gonna lie, as someone who used to like that stuff, it was like, ooh, like, one up Super Mario. And I felt like I got twice as big, like Mario. But they gave me a shot of that, and I had a walker, and I would go to the elevator. So 2 nights before I knew I had this big physical therapy thing, I would walk to the elevator, which is 25 or maybe 40 yards or meters from the room I was in. And so when the people came to check me off, that I could put on clothes and that I could pull myself from one bed to the toilet seat, I actually walked out the door instead of going to the toilet seat with my walker, and was able to go all the way around. And the hospital is shaped like a horseshoe, kind of like this, and my bedroom was like here, and there's a burn unit on the other side here, and then elevators here. Well, I walked all the way like 100 yards over into the burn unit with the person behind me saying like, be careful. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing that. And I walked all the way to the burn unit and back, and then proceeded to like collapse. I was like covered in sweat, and but the nurse right before that had given me 3 shots of pain medicine, which is like the max they could give me. And we, kind of had been secretly planning to like wow the PT people so I could come home. So after that, I got cleared to come home because the infection had been gone from my blood for like 8 days. And yeah. Kent, thank you so much, buddy. Wow, I really appreciate it, and I like the little Shiba Inu with the heart. That's cool. Thank you so much, bud. Um, but yeah, so that's how I got out of there. And then my wife brought me home, and this has been my kingdom ever since. I got my little project vase. I got my plants. I can look out the window, and Then I got all this stuff to like these. Each day I have to use one and clean out the wound. And then I have to use, this is a bag of bandages and gauze. Every day I have to rewrap. It's just like a crazy process. But I'm getting there, I'm doing it, and you guys are so much of the reason why. And I'm literally like, when I had spare time, once my brain was recombobulated, I I just read about fish. I literally, that's what I asked for, was I asked for my fish atlas. When my wife's like, "What do you want? Uh, now that you're awake and in bed and just healing?" And I was like, "I want my fish atlas, and I want my North American native fish Peterson guide." And I just practiced like reading through that. Holy smokes! Wow, beast from the east, buddy. Holy smokes. Thank you for the Danish gift. Holy cow. Thank you, you guys. The Danes are just coming in today. Woo! Thank you, buddy. I'll put it to good use. You know, the thing is, I gotta cheer myself up, and I still have that 65-gallon tank in the other room. So we got to do something fun in there, guys. Like I'm kind of gonna, like, once I can move around right now. It's just really painful. And yeah, send in the Danes for real. The tallest people on Earth, the best looking people on Earth. One of the best, I should say. Brazilians are pretty darn fine looking. Um, but yeah, you know, so that's the whole story. I'm sticking to it. Uh, and hopefully no setbacks. Hopefully I'm over the worst of it. I have like a 30-day antibiotic. My gut is ruined, so I'm like yogurt, kefir, kombucha, like anything I can get. Like it's bacteria. I'm about to drink tank water. uh, Pyle, what's up, man? How are you doing? Good to see you, buddy, and always good to see Chevy. Talk right, Alex. Check this out too. Just getting my, uh, how's that for a sexy leg? No swelling, just a normal leg. So if you guys have been around a while, you know how bad the swelling was in my legs for a while. Well, they got me, all hydrated properly, and just having my legs up really helped. I don't know if that's a long-term plan, but that was great. Um, yeah, if you want to see the nasty incision, you can go on my Facebook, and it might be in the in somewhere else too, but I'm not gonna share it again on here. Oh, thank you, Jan. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for the support. Wow, that's very kind of you. And you know, it's cool that I've met you now, and I can put a face with you on here. So I hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you. Holy cow, Stan, thank you so much. The giving the gift that keeps on giving. Wow, really cool. Oh, and Nirvana Aquatics, thank you. You know, I gotta show you guys something. I'm gonna get up and show you something. Oh, all right. So, Serena Nirvana Aquatics, she gave me a really cool gift, and thank you guys so much. You guys are so sweet, and it helps other people have access to my content. So, Nirvana Aquatics and I have been working on the Discord too. So we should be releasing the Discord or opening it up when I figure out all the ins and outs fully. But we've been building it for you guys, and she is incredible in her help and just her experience with that and moderating and stuff. And I can't thank her enough. But she sent me a package, and it had this awesome. I love these. I collect these in every state I visit. Seriously. Uh, Fishing guide for all the native Texas game fish. And it has like, I mean, it's like 5 times the size of the Washington one, which is really cool. The other thing that she gave me, which is awesome, is she got me um, some of her stickers and stuff, like this Nirvana Aquatics little pea puffer that's so stinking cute, um, and this sticker, which it says, live life as if someone is looking up to you, which, I mean, that's cute, but it's also like a good message. I love it. And then, fancy AF. That's pretty funny. So I really like her stickers. They're really clever. Not mean, just opinionated. And, you guys, something really cool happened while I was in the hospital. And this is why I love keeping nature tanks. We'll take one look in the fish room. It's a mess, so I apologize. It's like, it's always a mess, you know that. But it's really on like DEFCON 3 or whatever, because I haven't been able to do anything with it, really. But we'll turn it around. You guys can see the state of it. This is 2.5 weeks of just my wife trying to do what I've instructed her to do. But check out this 65 gallon. We're gonna do something in there soon. I'm not quite strong enough yet to like do anything more than like 15 minutes at a time. But this light right here is like a reef light, so we can light it really well. I'm thinking of doing like gobies and like a splash zone. Maybe like only half water. I don't know. I'll take any suggestions. I have a lot of ideas. The other thing I was thinking was like earth eaters. I don't know. But, if you guys recall, I got these Negro fasciatus, Danios, Dovarios, right before I went into the hospital. They're doing well. Algae is, it's a real thing, and there's all that. My little shrimp tank, still chugging along with the chilies, still no filter. Also, these guys, they're still breeding. There's new baby, hovering loaches. Also, it looks like there might be a new arc pencilfish. He's like half the size of the other ones, and I don't know where he came from. Other than that, the day I went to the hospital, I left these two bettas together, male, female, and they have babies in there that they haven't eaten yet. So we'll say that that's a project that I'm waiting to see the outcome of. And then the exciting part of my Maha Chiensis, well, let's see. Do we even see them? Let's see. Whoops, sorry guys. Mystery pencilfish. Yeah, that's right. Mystery pencilfish. 3,000. So here, can you guys see? Oh, there he is. So there's one of my Maha Chiensis bettas. Ooh, wait, is this I'm not taking my chances if that was a, oh, it wasn't. It was just a snail. I thought it was the foot of a snail. I thought it might have been a planaria. I was going to say there shouldn't be any planaria in here. But over in here, we got some Malawa shrimp. And I left them in there thinking, well, they'll provide some food in worst case scenario for the little betta babies. And there are a number of betta babies in here somewhere, but they all kind of hide. But since I've been home from the hospital, I have seen like a number of them together. So while scuds are kind of becoming an issue, I have seen the shrimp and I have seen some of the little bettas. So I think right now it's last count. Yeah, there's another one right there. At last count, there were like 6 or 8. I think there were 9 originally. Bettas that were born and that I moved over there. There you can see one of the new young hovering loaches. They're always really skinny when they're young, and then they get fat when they get to be bigger. There's a male that's bigger. And then over here, really weird. I was neglecting this tank terribly when I was gone, clearly. But we've got the Goodyids. The Goodyids have had a bunch of babies, and they are trying to actively eat their babies. So I put half the babies into this tank, which is with the metallic live bearers. So there's a metallic live bearer there, the black chin metallic live bearer. But there are some Goodyiad little young babies that I'll move eventually. Then there are the Beta Imbolus, all living together in a 2-gallon, still doing great in there. And up here, this is where the Maha Chiensis that are the babies in the other tank, they came from this 2-gallon. And granted, I need to like beg my wife, please, please put more water in. And then we've got the little gobies, and my mom and dad came over. And then we've got the beautiful little cichlids. There's the little female, the little yellow one, and then the male, I don't know where he is. Let's get some scuds. We'll get some scuds. And we'll feed the scuds. Watch this. She's like a killing machine. So she'll eat the whatever. Oh, there comes the male. So these are the black line cichlids. Probably the smallest cichlid other than checkerboard cichlids that I know of. I absolutely adore them. They haven't had any babies yet, which is a little disconcerting. And then the Chinese white cheek gobies, they're still here. They're still doing their thing. And they're all just chasing the scuds that I put in there. But look at that beauty boy right there. Oh, yeah, he's hunting too. She's hunting. They're all hunting. And the Kuli loaches will come out and also hunt. But it's really these ones that just, I mean, they just clean up. So yeah. Hey, Chris Aquazone, thank you, buddy. Yeah, I totally agree, Jan. I like the Maha Chiensis and I like the Embolus, because they can live together. Like, this guy, why isn't the light on? I don't know why, and I don't have the strength, you guys, to like lean over and plug it in. But in here is a real beautiful little boy. He's young and still small. But he's the one who had the babies, definitely. Him, and then his little girlfriend or whatever. She's somewhere else in here. Down in the peat moss, probably. And then I also have the Megoptera. Also, in case anybody's wondering and they see it, this bottle is from Jim Morrison's grave. Or rather, we brought 2 and we cracked one on his grave and poured it out there in France. The other bottle stayed in my backpack and then ended up coming back as a keepsake. It was free from the airline as like a whatever, you know, as here, eat this kind of thing. Also, this tank really needs some love. All the tanks need some love. But here are the hetero, I forget their name, hetero something or other, Heteroptera, maybe? I don't know. My brain's kind of mush. My brain's a little bit of mushy, more than normal. And then we got the Kohaku swordtails are getting so big. I'm so proud of them. And then There are also the beautiful um, Kalitawa rainbow fish in here. They're the shyest, so we'll probably see them last. And the water's so low right now. You're just seeing the two male kohakus. But maybe if I scare them, let's see. Um, let's see if that moves any forward. I got a pretty good sized school though of these new, the newest species, the Trigonostigma genus. The Trigonostigma genus has the ESPEs and the lamb chops. Heteromorpha, thank you. I really appreciate that. I couldn't remember the name. Hold on, guys. Let me get you situated again. Um, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna even see the rainbow fish come to the front. They kind of have like a back area here that they swim in. That's like a whole like area that kind of they fight anybody off that goes there, whereas these guys all hang out in the whole front of this long tank. I don't see... Oh, wait, there we are. I was like, where is the female? So we do have two females. She looks like she might be pregnant, which is not surprising for a live bear. But I will be happy when she has babies because there's way more males than females in this group. And that's not usually a recipe for good things with live bears. Hey, there's a Kalitawa right there. There goes a male with his little red tail. So anyways, ooh, good thing I caught that phone. The phone clip doesn't want to hold. I'm going to rewire this Fluval 3.0. The wire came out on it. And a twin star light that I have, also the wiring solder came out. So I'll have some projects for me sitting on the couch. And I'll be able to like solder and wire whatever. I want to show you guys, see how sweaty I am. I mean, it's hot in there, but just from doing anything, I get so tired. It's so lame. Yeah, they're koi swordfish for sure. Also, so we can turn this on. Thoughts on L46 zebra plecos? I absolutely love them. And if you need them, I would highly recommend Moonlight Aquatics. Link in the description. Like, look, guys, I was literally trimming the tank the night that I went to the hospital, and I still haven't even done anything about that. Look at this, though. We got some sort of mite, some sort of virus or mite or bacteria that's hurting this Anubias, which is, I think this is just a normal Fraseri, but my hybrid one, remember guys that I have this hybrid monster? Look at this monster. Almost 2 feet, 21 inches is how long this leaf is. And this guy here, same deal. He's 19 inches, but he's so tall. So that, yeah, and spider mites for sure. Actually, it's aphids. We got aphids on here, and we got springtails. But I think you're right about spider mites being the ones that are doing the infecting and or the scarring of the plants. Especially this poor Fraserite. For some reason, look at this. I mean, this plant is just torn up, like the Fraserite, the normal Anubias. But the hybrid is actually doing way better than the normal one. Like, there's another normal leaf coming up from there, and it's all messed up and like diseased. So I got to figure that out. But yeah. The therapist and junk box. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your support. I do. Thank you. We'll do something cool. Also, hopefully we can get some giveaways going again, you know. that's just a part of the channel that I really love, and it's something I love to do. Dino sauce, thank you guys. I'm like, I don't know what to say other than thank you. You have any opinions on stocking for a 20 long? 3 honey gouramis, 3 peacock gudgeons, 7 autosynclus. That's cool because a lot of people don't stock autosynclus in the numbers they should be. I don't. And they're actually a really social fish. So I think that's cool that you're doing that. 10 coolies, they can hide all day, so you may never see them. 2 vampire shrimp. In a 20 long, 3 honey gouramis, they'll be peaceful. The peacock gudgeons, keep an eye on them, but that should work out. Oh, that should work out okay. That should work out fine. You may want a midwater fish that's a little bit derpy and just kind of in the way. So like maybe like a really peaceful Danio, like a tin Winnie Danio, or a kite that's even a little bit too rowdy. But maybe like a tetra would work. Maybe like 6 ruby tetras. You still have room in there as long as it's well planted and um, filtered. You could, you could also get a few endlers, or like male endlers, and that would be really pretty. Or a small Danio, CPD, erythromicron, neon, rasboras, or lamb chop rasboras, any of the smaller tetras, maybe even black phantoms. That's about as big as I'd go. But if it's well planted, a lot of the fish and stuff that you listed, the autos and the coolies and the shrimp, they're all going to hang out at the bottom or on surfaces. So you have some midwater to work with. The gudgeons, they'll probably hang out. The peacock gudgeons will probably hang out together and low, especially if you have plants. They'll like that. And then the honey gouramis will be at the surface mostly, but maybe in the midwater somewhat too. Never know. But that's my recommendation, is maybe a few more midwaters to kind of break things up, because the gudgeons can be a little bit temperamental towards the shrimp and stuff. And just know that, yeah, that's a thing. Oh, cool. Nirvana Aquatic says I'm about to have 15 autos because I'm watching them in a small army is fantastic. Yeah, totally. Hey Luke, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. You may also have thrips. Yeah, I know. Stupid plants. Ladybugs will eat the mites. Yeah, well, I'm cool with letting ladybugs go in the house. Wife might not be, but I like that idea. Holy smokes! Jack, thank you, man. I seriously don't know what to say when y'all do such kind things like that. It really will make a difference this month, and I'm gonna get some help over here and get like water in the tanks and basic care, because like right now I'm pushing what I can even do for the channel, like standing up and walking around. Like, it feels good, I want to do it, but I'm just easily worn out. And Nirvana Aquatics, you're right, yeah, this community is the best. Yeah, you guys are rock stars. I love that most of the folks here are like serious long-term aquarists, or better yet than that, long-term aquarists that want to still learn more and have things to teach each other, have things to teach me, and yet we can all grow together because we all have that like passion. And so even when new people jump in, like, everybody's still nice to them, even though there's some kind of obvious questions and stuff that tend to come up. But I have missed you guys so much, and I really just can't tell you how much I value the whole community here, and like, I'm so happy that you guys are still here. Like, I can turn on the phone or the computer, and that you guys are still here. Like, Thank you. Um, I'm gonna do my best to get going. Uh, Thanks, Luke. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna do my best to get going in the fish room so that there's interesting stuff for you guys. I have a couple videos that I didn't finish when I went into the hospital, so those might be coming out like before anything new. But as you can see here, I've got a lot of medical crap I still got to wrap up. They got to take out. So I have 100 stitches in my leg on the inside in the fascia and muscle. And then I also have 16 on the outside with like a twine that won't dissolve. Yeah, we should mod Serena. Let's see here. Can I do that on this mode? Let me find out. Um, yes. That was a no-brain decision. And again, mods, no pressure whatsoever. You have no obligation to know when I'm streaming, to be here. It's just when you're here, feel free to flex that ban hammer or whatever you need to do. Because you're just all people I trust. And it's not that I don't trust anybody that I haven't modded. It's just we don't need a million mods. And yeah. Good to see you're back. Quick one. And please correct me if I'm wrong. To the best of my knowledge, donations on the super chat are not optimal due to the fees. Yeah, so Terry, you're correct. While I'm very, very grateful for any big gift things like that, I mean, I don't have I don't have the money or the time to be humble right now. It sounds funny, but like I owe too many people. Uh, I'll get it done eventually. I'm not. It's not gonna affect the channel a ton or anything, other than maybe limiting travel a little bit. But yes, if you really want to put money to give money to the channel, me, whatever, and I always do my best to try to like reinvest money from super chats and things to the channel, unless someone else says like, buy yourself this or that, then I'll usually try to honor that too. But when people do that, if you give through YouTube super chats, they will take, I believe it's 40% off the top of your money. Then I have to pay taxes on a 30% of, like 28% of whatever that is. And in my state, sales tax is also 11%. So when I buy something, there's even more, in theory, down the road that comes out. Can't really avoid that, but in the description of the videos, of all my videos and live streams, I have my PayPal account and my Venmo account. And those are ways you can get the money to me, and I will get 40% more than if you donate a super chat. But I don't want to belittle that, because the thing is, I try to shout people out if they're helping that way, unless they want to be anonymous. But I get, how easy it is to click the button and to share. I do it too. And I thank all of you no matter what. But that is a good note, Terry, just in case of that. And then I can definitely shout people out on PayPal for sure. Dino Sauce, thank you as well. Yeah, when it's not in real time though, it'll probably have to be next live stream. But you guys are in luck. I will be live streaming hopefully tomorrow again. If I have, unless I'm just really, really worn out. Tomorrow at a normal time, like 4:30 or 4 p.m. Pacific, I'm going to try to stream again. So, you guys, thank you so much. I am so grateful to be back. And yes, exactly, Dino Sauce. I will do my best to write off everything that I can, as far as you can write off like half the electricity for whatever you figure that room's using. I actually have a separate panel, because the people who used to live here, I'm pretty sure we're growing something. and they have a whole separate panel for that room that and a separate meter, and it's not because anybody was renting a room for them. So it's just kind of funny. There's like 19 plugs that are all in the house, and I think 11 of them are in that room, which when we moved here and bought the house, we were like, sweet, that'll be the fish room. But definitely it was some sort of shady room, shady grow room before that. Uh, any case, you guys, thank you for hearing my story, letting me talk and tell you guys what's up. And hopefully we'll get back on track tomorrow with some more fishy content. Maybe we'll check in and see what's new, like at Moonlight and at Dan's Fish, places like that. Because there are some cool things in the places that I support, and I love looking at new fish that I haven't seen in the hobby before. But you guys, thank you so much, super chatters, community members, watchers, anybody who's here, whether you're watching the replay or you're watching it live. Thank you. You guys are my friends, you are my family, and you mean the world to me. This channel is like my identity now, and I mean that like it, and I'm okay with that because of the place that it's grown to be, because of all of you. I love this being a place for curiosity, learning, and friendship, and compassion, and I really, really appreciate all of you. So take care of your critters. Take care of yourself, or you can't take care of the people you love and your critters. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. If not tomorrow, soon. Much love, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for all your well wishes and thoughts and prayers and just positive energy. You guys rock. I couldn't ask for a cooler community. Thank you.